for our next speakers.
Yes.
My good friend Riley and his friends. We now have a group called Lawyers for Palestine. They've got around 30 members in their group and it's growing very fast. So glad to have lawyers on our side, something that we all need and we're probably going to need. It's my pleasure to introduce Lawyers for Palestine.
Thank you so much, Ramsey. My name is Riley. I'm with Lawyers for Palestine, as well as my friends here with our new banner. And like many of us, I've been coming to these rallies about once a week for the last almost 2 years. And last week, my friend Mary said that it's beginning to feel like we're becoming like a family, and I really agree. I recognize so many people here today. And it matters that we come here today. It matters every time we come. It really does. So thank you everyone for being here. It matters. Our group was started by 5 articling students. An articling student is a lawyer in training. And I think it's really brave of these 5 articling students to start this group because it's at the start of their career and they're really at their most vulnerable. But because of their leadership, we now have over 30 members, and some of them are lawyers with decades of experience. And our group is working on different issues. We've formed committees, and we're continuing to try to do outreach and recruitment, and that's part of what we're doing here today. If anyone knows any lawyers in Manitoba who cares about Palestine but feels alone, we're here to say you're not alone. We're here too. And across Canada, there's hundreds of lawyers who care about Palestine. Just last month, there was a statement put out by the Canadian Association of Labour Lawyers, which is an organization that represents 750 lawyers across Canada, and they put out a statement calling for an end to the genocide. For a while there, it's you're not sure whether there's other lawyers who care about Palestine, so it means so much to have organizations like that put out statements like that, and we're really heartened by that statement. In addition to trying to help people feel like they're not alone, I wanted to also try to help lawyers in Manitoba not be afraid to speak out. It can happen that we have these worst case scenarios in our head. If I speak out about Palestine, even though I really feel that way, I could lose my job. All my teeth will fall out and I'll get hit by lightning. But it's just not the case. And when I was articling, I was outspoken about Palestine. I came to these rallies, I posted on my social media, and it did result in me having a meeting with, or being called into a meeting with my employer. And I remember that morning I was really anxious and afraid, but the meeting was fine. I continued to be able to, go to the rallies and promote the rallies. And I ended up finishing my articling term and being called to the bar and becoming a lawyer. Thank you. and the point of that story is really to say that, it's not like, yes, theoretically, there's always a chance that you could get some type of retaliation. But for me, it didn't result in me losing my job. It resulted in me having to feel uncomfortable one morning and have a meeting that was uncomfortable. And I think most people are capable of shouldering that type of thing. Like, you can do that. Don't be afraid to speak out, because it's you can get caught in these worst case scenarios. But in my personal experience, it wasn't like that. And I've been coming to these rallies and being outspoken, and I didn't lose my job because of it. I've been trying to kind of like listen to my internal voice. And that's been helping me continue, but sometimes it feels like, man, is my internal voice trying to make sure that I never get a job again in my entire life? But because in June of 2024, when I was being called to the bar during the ceremony when you become a lawyer, it's kind of like a graduation ceremony, and as you cross, as I crossed the stage, I unfurled a flag of the Palestinian flag that said, "Ceasefire now, please." And I'm so proud of myself for having done that. And I would have, thank you, and I would have really regretted not doing it. And you can think about all the ways in which there might be negative effects for listening to your internal voice if you care about Palestine and speaking out. But what I didn't expect was all of the positive aspects. And I came to one of these rallies 3 days after my call to the bar, and I spoke about my call to the bar action, and afterwards I just cried and cried and cried, because they say, the greater the tension, the greater release, and I released a lot of tears that day. But afterward, a lot of people came over and they all wanted to help me and they all wanted to comfort me. And one person called my family member who was really worried about me and talked with my family member and reassured them, and that meant a lot. And another person helped me apply for jobs later and gave me a lot of advice and helped me work with my application materials. And I got a job interview because of their help. I didn't get the job, but I would not have gotten the interview otherwise. And one of the lawyers in town, his name's Louay Al Ghul. He's a Palestinian lawyer. He has his own law firm, and he offered me a job. So if you're thinking about the worst case scenario, try and think about the best case scenario too, because speaking out about Palestine has been a best case scenario for me. And I ended up getting a different job. I now work for a union as a union organizer. It's a non-legal position, but it's something I've been interested in since before I went to law school, and I'm really enjoying it. And kind of like a full circle moment was literally 1 year to the day after my call to the bar, my coworker and I were able to succeed in helping a group of 37 janitors win their union at the University of Winnipeg, and they're going to, and I think they're just a few days away. We're still in negotiations and everything, but it's getting really close to them being able to win their first union contract, get pay increases, and get employer paid health and dental benefits. So it worked out. Speaking out on Palestine worked out, and none of my teeth fell out, and I didn't get hit by lightning. So all this to say, if you're a lawyer in Manitoba, don't be afraid, you're not alone, and please join our group. The more people we get in our group, the more that we can do. We're not currently giving legal advice, but we give referrals, so finding people an appropriate lawyer for the job they need to have help with. And we're also trying to make sure that Palestinian rights are represented and upheld within the legal community here at home. Later on today, we'll post the statement from the Canadian Association of Labour Lawyers so that people can read that. That's on our Instagram page, Manitoba Lawyers for Palestine. And if you know of any lawyers who'd like to join a group, please let them know. Thank you so much, you guys. And like I said, it really does matter that we come out to these. So thank you for being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, where's Ramsey?